All right, welcome everybody to a special edition of When the Right One Comes, Single, Married, and Divorced. I'm Bishop Greg Davis, and I'm your host for tonight. Joining me, of course, y'all know her, she's famous. Uh, my co-host on When the Right One Comes radio show, Miss Anisha A. Sharp.
Yes.
And then we have two gentlemen that I met through her. I actually watched one a couple of times on her page, and that is Apostle Isaac Jenkins.
Bless you, sir.
Welcome, man of God.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
He has just as much wisdom as me because his beard is almost. And then Brother David Barras, we met before. I'm not going to say how we met. That's between us. But we met on social media. And then he was on the radio show. I don't know if I ever told Anisha that story. I may just keep that story to myself.
Bishop, I told her what happened.
You told her what happened? She don't even remember. Look at her.
I remember.
Oh, okay. Well, glad to have you, my two brothers, and the queen that is the rose between all these thorns on tonight. Glad to have you all. If all of you that are on, I'm getting feedback from somebody. I don't know who I'm getting it from, but getting feedback. If you all that are coming on could invite and share. Hey, Kiki, Vinette, hello, all, Annette, the regulars. Hey, y'all. And then just a way of announcement, as you all know, When the Right One Comes, the master class is coming 2 weeks from now, and Anisha is my guest host. It's called Preparing and Positioning for the Right One. And we only have 8 seats, and there's a sale going on today. It's 10% off until Sunday. So the 8 of you that are procrastinating, you could save some money on today. I'll announce it again. Go ahead. You want to say something, Anisha? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say y'all can even pause for a second and go over there, click on the link, grab your tickets. You do not want to miss out. 8 tickets left. Telling you it's going to be amazing. You're gonna get a When the Right One Comes toolkit or blueprint. And also you'll get not only get a chance to hear Bishop, but you'll get a chance to actually speak with him and ask questions. So you want to get in the room, it's gonna be so much fun. Don't be the one missing out and you wish you got it. Get the tickets, get it tonight.
Thank you so much. We're going to get started in a minute. I need about 20 of y'all to share and invite. Share, put some people's names. We're talking about being single, married, and divorced. Single, married, and divorced. So I need y'all just to say that you're sharing. Where do you get tickets? All right, I'm glad you asked. Greg Davis Show at gmail.com. Greg Davis Show at gmail.com is where you go. And I'm going to put it up here while y'all sharing. There you go. While y'all sharing. There you go, Danielle. I need 19 more of y'all to say that you shared. I need 19 more of y'all to say that you shared. That's where you get tickets from. Let your girlfriends know. Don't come in it alone so that you got to go tell her everything. That's where you get it at. Right there. I need some more of y'all to share, please. Share it. Sharing is caring, y'all. Sharing is caring. I pray y'all had a great Thanksgiving. I did. I just ate some more leftovers, and I think I'm gonna eat some more because they just that good.
Bishop, I saw you got a shipment.
I got a shipment of some gumbo.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
So disrespectful.
Gumbo and red beans and rice with sausage in it. Prophet Delaney, who's going to be with me at 10 o'clock tonight on my teaching time, and he's going to be teaching tonight with me at 10 p.m. So, yeah, the gumbo, a whole pound of gumbo, man.
I saw it.
So he made it?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
and shipped it from Louisiana. This ain't no counterfeit gumbo. This came from the bayou.
I was jealous.
And when I tell you he ought to have a restaurant, Lord have mercy. That gumbo was so good. and every bite it was some meat in it. You know, sometimes they don't put enough in there. And the red bean, same. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I need I need y'all to invite and share. If some more of you could just share, sharing is caring. There are people that need to hear this tonight, even especially. It's funny because right before I came on, Anisha, somebody hit me, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but they said, I feel like I'm in a huge world alone, making moves and accomplishments alone. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. And I told them to get on and just watch. But that's the way a lot of people feel. And so we're going to talk. So I'm just waiting for just about 5 more of y'all to share. We getting there. We getting there. I'm a hard taskmaster. The subject tonight is single, married, and divorce. Single, married, and divorce. Anybody else sharing, Anisha? I can't see the screen. I'm doing something.
Yes, that's people sharing.
All right.
I see Kiki.
Yeah, a lot of people share.
That me that has people. I keep hearing feedback. I was trying to see if that was needed.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it me?
Y'all sound like the disciples with Jesus. Lord, is it I? Check 1, 2. I think it's Brother David because he went out. I don't hear. Y'all here right now?
No.
It's
I don't
him.
hear it.
So you're saying I'm a problem child?
See, Judas was the first one that spoke up. All right, y'all. Let's get started. Father, bless us now in Jesus' name. Amen. So we're talking about single. I wanted to bring them together because I really was impressed, and y'all continue to share. I really was impressed with both of these brothers on our show, and of course, I'm always impressed with Anisha because she thinks opposite of me, and unlike other people, and we kind of think alike in some things, but unlike other people, I like people that think differently because it gives different perspectives, and no way is the wrong way. Like I have a brother that's in this relationship thing who's way ahead of me, and that's R.C. Blake's. His father called me his spiritual son, so we like brothers, and he's years ahead of me in this relationship thing. I mean, he got 300,000 followers. Everybody know RC, but he takes a different approach than I do. I'm a little more practical, and I'm living it out. But I love, and we're gonna do some things together. But I love versatility. I love people that have different thoughts. So I brought together all 3 of them are coaches, certified. I am a lifetime coach, meaning I got mine from the hard kick of experiences in life. That's what life coach means.
True.
I keep telling people I'm gonna go get my paper, then they keep telling me, "Don't get it, you don't need it, you know." Yeah. But we all like that paper and things, so we'll see. But I'm glad to have all 3 of them here, and of course I'm gonna ask. So let's deal with singles. Let's deal with what I just sent you. Again, the person says, "How do you all?" And Brother Isaac, I want to start with you. I feel like I'm in a huge world alone, making moves and accomplishments, but alone. And I'll be honest with you. Hey, Mika, I'll be honest with you. I've been in the house. I've been in the house for real, y'all.
Yeah.
No, I've been in the house for real. I go out twice a week, maybe. And that's maybe to go get some Starbucks and this vegetarian hamburger I like. And then I go take my message on Thursdays. Haven't had church since late March, 1st of April. Haven't been on a plane since February. I am in the house. I don't play with it. But I'm making more accomplishments, y'all, than I've ever made at one time. I got a new book coming out. I got a new CD, a single that's dropping January 1st. We just decided the date, and I recorded that during the pandemic. And so it's like all these great things, but no one really to share it with. So I voiced the same sentiments as the person that sent me that. So what say ye, Dr. Isaac?
Well, it's a great question. And again, thank you again, Bishop, for having us in your space of grace. And I'm looking forward to a tremendous conversation on tonight. She says she's single, but she is making accomplishments, correct?
Yep.
And she feels alone.
And
Well,
I know her, and she is making major accomplishments.
Well, I would offer her this in the space that she's in right now, and that is what you focus on expands. And if she makes that a focus, not that it's not a reality because it's real, that feeling is real, the reality is real, that she is single. But if she focused on making the moves and continue to make moves, she won't give as much attention to being alone. Because alone is a state, and alone can be a creative state. It doesn't have to be a negative state. Alone does not mean necessarily that you're by yourself. It means that somewhere you're not focusing on being whole. Whole, like I'm by myself. I like being by myself because I'm an introvert. So, but I'm a people person also. But I love being by myself. And when I'm by myself, I enjoy myself. So what I would offer to her is the accomplishment factor is use her aloneness to continue to produce, outproduce the loneliness. I like that. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Some of the scribes on here, Mika and y'all send that to Prophet Isaac in his inbox before you forget. Right.
Yeah, just outproduce the loneliness, because when Adam was alone, God said for him, that's not good. He said, I mean, everything was good. Man was alone. He said, that's not good. So his remedy for that was a relationship. It was a marriage, actually. That was how God fixed man's loneliness. But in this case, I really believe because her focus needs to really kind of be tweaked. If she could just focus on her accomplishment, I think she could outproduce the loneliness.
So respectfully, so man of God, you know me by now that I ask these crazy things, but then she could come back and say, and maybe I say, but that don't fill the space and the void of touch and feel and you know you man
Absolutely.
you know.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You want a piece of that, or you want me to pass it around, or you want to kind of just hit that?
Well, I would say this, and then I'll pass it on. I do get that. I do understand. I've been married for 22 years, so I've been out of that space for a long time. So I do understand that part. But yet and still, just because she longed for it, and right now is not in the space to obtain it in that space, then she still got to focus on what's right. Like the right part of this is that she's accomplishing. This would be to me, the double bind. Single, lonely, no production.
Yeah.
I'll take the 1 out of 2, producing.
Yeah, me too.
If she keeps producing, I think she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Everything else will catch up with it.
Yeah. Okay. Anisha?
That's a great question. So being a single person, or unmarried, as Mr. Bird says, being an unmarried person, and I probably get out a little bit more than a lot more than Bishop does.
You got me.
Yeah, I do. I get out. And I've even traveled. I mean, I don't recommend you do what you decide to do, but I have been on planes during this time. But I'll say this. I think Apostle is right when he said it's about a mindset. And like I'm hearing feedback. Yeah, I hear that.
I don't hear it.
I
Just
hear.
me?
I hear it a little bit.
Okay, I'll answer and I'm gonna come out and come back in. But I think it's also where you put your mindset. But in terms of what Bishop was saying, in terms of being realistic, I don't know if we recognize that even in this current space, you can still take time to have conversations with people. Focus on developing some of your other relationships, some of your other friendships, and getting to know people. I mean, we have FaceTime, we have other avenues of getting to talk to people and getting to know people. And some would say this is even a better time because you get to know a person without the pressure of being in their presence, without the pressure of, um, you know, whatever you feel being in the presence with somebody else. Like you get to see them FaceTime or over the phone, getting a chance to know them without all that pressure. So I really feel like if we see it differently, we can not only accomplish a lot in this time, which I have taken the time to do, but we can also develop our relationships. And of course, we should be developing ourselves as well. So I do think what Apostle said in terms of, where your focus is expands, but then also in terms of what Bishop was saying, taking time to develop your relationships. You can still do that during this time.
Brother David, you want to add?
Just shortly and quickly, I would say that the enemy of alone is loneliness. And I think we confuse the two.
Yeah.
God said it's not good for him to be alone, which alone is not a bad thing. That word alone is a derivative of two words, all in one. So when God is saying Adam was alone, he was all one. I think to my sister who did write in, I would say, as Anisha said, man, let's enjoy some good companionship. But I also want to, as Bishop said, let's embrace the all one that you are. There's some things that God is still doing in you in your alone time that he wants to develop. And you are not cursed. You are not defective. You are all one in this moment. And at some point, God's going to make you one with someone else, and the two shall become one.
That's good.
And let me say that as one of the persons that's living that out, I agree with you 100%. Because I'm thinking as you're talking, David, that, man, I probably wouldn't have been working on this book. I probably wouldn't have recorded. I recorded 20-something songs, live. It wasn't an audience, but we were, it was live in the sanctuary and everything. All these lives that I'm doing and all the following that I've gathered and doing TV. I'm doing TV more than I did when we were in the studio because it's right down here in my living room. And so now that I think about that, I'm more productive than I would be with somebody being here because they'd be like, why are you doing all that? Come on. Y'all keep smiling, married men.
Listen, bro, I got a yon in the next room. So I got to whisper a little bit.
That means she ain't watching.
Yeah,
but you know what is. Yeah. Anisha, close your ears.
See me rolling my eyes.
She do it and she ain't even my wife.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, sir.
So let's, because that was one of my questions. And I wrote this a long time ago that loneliness only takes place when you focus on being alone.
Yes, sir.
That's good, sir.
Somebody send that to me. We getting all these quotes for our pages. Y'all put that in there. Loneliness only takes place when you focus in alone, which goes back to what Brother Isaac said about your focus. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say it exactly like that. So how do you not get to the place of being lonely? Of course, I think we already answered that, right? There is a difference between alone being. So you get to that place by keeping your focus on, I don't know why. Is it freezing on your end? No? I see it freeze over here. Okay. So anything y'all want to add to that alone spot? Anything
I would add, Bishop, that it wasn't Adam who said he was alone. It was God.
That's right.
Right. It was God who said it's not good for this man to be alone, which means Adam was okay with it.
Yeah.
But the other question we have to put on the table is, if God is with me, how am I alone? Which means that there is something more that God knows that I need as opposed to just him. So for me to say God is my husband or my wife, that's cute. But I want you to be honest and say, because God is not going to creep in the bed with you and touch you at night. Let's talk about it. God is not going to hold you.
Yeah, like some of these saints be talking about, I'm making love to Jesus. Jesus, my boyfriend. That's a lie.
That's witchcraft.
Yeah, it's too much.
I don't even want to hear Jesus keep me near the cross when I'm with somebody. If I'm with somebody.
No.
Yeah, that's too
No. Yeah,
Talk about no weapon formed against you. No, I don't hear all that. Give me some big Luther.
Some big Luther.
I hear you.
Some Frederick Jackson. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You
And
were
I
saying,
would add this,
go ahead.
Bishop, if I can. I would use my alone time to find all the places that I lost myself when I was with somebody.
That's good.
Come on.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
That's good.
I can't find them either.
Go back and gather up the fragments.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. That's it. I just wanted to say that point
Okay.
I
there.
can't find them.
Anisha, you want to add something to the lonely? I said when you were getting on, did you hear the part I said about alone versus lonely? That
Yeah, there's
till you
go
focus
ahead.
on alone, then that's when you notice you're lonely. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you all covered it all. I mean, pretty much, it is about your focus. And I get it. Most of us have been in the house, and I say that in terms of not gathering since February, March. So I get it. But just think of in addition to your goals, um, I'm sorry, in addition to your goals, just keep in mind we're not going to be in this position forever. So
Yes.
take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Enjoy the space. Enjoy getting to know. One of the things, I'm a complete extrovert. Everybody knows me. I love people. This started to be difficult for me, but then I began to really begin to enjoy certain things about this time. And if I can do it as an extrovert, and I'm an extreme extrovert, I think anybody can.
And I think not everybody who's married has companionship. Not everybody who's single is alone.
That's
There's some
good.
married folks who are alone.
Talk to my married friends. I done
Yeah.
talked to a bunch of them in the last 9 months.
What's that, David?
They tell me, Doc, and y'all know that's a Doc, you got the best hand. Trust me, Doc.
Yeah. Some
And
of
all
them
of
are
them ain't
lonely.
men, all of them ain't men neither. So
Wow.
while you trying to look over across the yard and saying, I wish the green grass always looks greener on the other side. And just because somebody got somebody, again, that don't mean, thank you, Brother David, that they have they have a body there, but yeah.
That's a
Yes,
whole nother
sir.
conversation.
All right, so let's go to this. So most people know that my philosophy about dating is means getting data. Okay. So if dating is getting data from a person, why would you commit to somebody you don't like and you don't like the data from? If dating is getting data, getting information, then why would you go ahead and commit to? Why do people commit to people and they know the data doesn't compute, it doesn't match, they androids and you working from an Apple. I know that's a horrible thing. I can't even imagine. So why do people? The bottom line question of that is, why do people settle when they know the information is not computing, when there are so many hundreds of millions of specimens, people with different DNA? Why, when we're teaching that get the data, don't rush, but they still get the data and it don't compute, but they go on anyway. I said it before, the flags is going, but they still, and really a lot of these questions are things that I posted based upon people that DM me or Facebook me questions. And so hopefully they're watching so they won't have to ask me these no more.
You know what, Bishop? One of the things that I would highlight is that I see a lot of people settling who have placed their heart in timeout. And what I mean by that is they have made so many mistakes that they feel like all they deserve is abuse. All right. And so they will only allow themselves to attract people who fit the crime, as opposed to doing what Apostle said. You need to get healed. You need to find out who you are, so that you're not attracting Bonnie and Clyde, right? So I need to get healed, so I'm not looking for you to punish me for what I've done to myself and have not forgiven myself of.
Yeah. Anybody want to add?
Yeah, I think oftentimes we settle because we have this mindset that there's lack. Women are told there's not really a lot of good men, or there's no men. Men have their own perception of what they think is available. So I think we tend to believe that there's lack. And anytime you believe there's lack, desperation enters in. So desperation enters in, you meet somebody and they may have, a few qualities, but they don't have most of them. You're like, well, I can work with that. And I think that we still are in the mindset of fixing people. And we've got to be clear that my son, who's 20, he's pretty much set in a lot of his ways. He's 20. And I'm not saying he won't change, but and I'm not saying he needs to, but I'm saying if we are looking to change people who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, these people are set in who they are. So if you don't enjoy who they are in this season, don't drag it along. And it's okay. I think we also have a hard time letting things go. And I believe it was Carlton or somebody on our radio show last week, Bishop. He mentioned this. He said we have a hard time releasing people if it's not working. And I say this all the time, dating is for very mature people. You got to come in prepared that this may not work. And that is so okay.
That is good.
Prophet.
I'm still stuck on David's the heart and time now. I'm still meditating on that, brother.
Yeah, man.
That was actually really powerful.
It was.
Because when you think about it, you actually date who you are. And that takes a heavy ear to hear that, because you can only attract who you are.
Yes, sir.
To you. So if you're in a cycle and you're still attracting the same thing over and over and over again in a pattern, maybe you're allowing desperation to make you settle for difficult situations. And you don't have to do that. So a lot of times before people can get in a new pattern, they have to learn how to unchoose old choices.
Teach us tonight.
You got to unchoose. You got to know there's something else available other than what you are experiencing. And you may be on that frequency of experiencing that, but there's another frequency.
That's so good.
And all you got to do is shift. And the only way you can shift is you have to start making decisions from healed places, not wounded places. And something else will show up different.
I would even go a step further, not giving away my sermon for Sunday, but it's one that I'm telling everybody to watch. But talking about the man at the pool, Jesus didn't speak to the healing part. He spoke to the broken part. He never said nothing about the man's healing.
Wow.
He said, will thou be made what?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, don't y'all miss Sunday. I'm talking to my people that's on here. So I think what we keep pointing back to, even with the first question and even in this, is doing this single journey, prophet, apostle, becoming better yourself. That's what the focus really should be as a single. Am I wrong, Apostle Jenkins?
No, sir.
Because everything is pointing back to that, the individual. While you're looking for somebody else, the focus really should be on you. Because in our masterclass with me and Anisha, that's what we're going to be talking about, focusing on you. That's what Ruth, that's a little plug. Ruth focused on her. Esther, they focused on themselves and became better so that when they got in the right position, they would be that person. Because you really can't draw. You can wish to draw for somebody that's got 6 digits salary and all that stuff, but if you're not prepared to draw that kind of person, you just aimlessly wishing. Is that not right, y'all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, elaborate. Go ahead.
Bishop, not to we're talking very practical tonight, but I want to put some scripture on the table.
Go ahead. We're on radio right now. Go ahead. We can talk scripture.
The Bible puts it this way. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. In other words, anything you will ever do, become, attract, is coming from your heart, which means that my mate is not coming to me, they're coming from me.
Yes, sir.
That means I've got to get me right, because I can only attract what my heart can handle. So I've got to get my heart right so that who I attract is who I need, not who will, I want to attract a mate, not medicine, if you will.
Good.
Very good.
Good.
Okay, let's kind of shift here. I get a lot of messages, DMs from women. I mean, a lot, that men have cheated on them. Now, they're not married to them, but they're with men that in some cases they've moved in with, We ain't here to judge nobody, but they moved in with him, and they're cheating on them. One particular situation I never forget. This is a recent letter I got. She said, I moved in with him. I have a daughter. He has a couple of kids. Um, he takes good care of me. Takes good care of me. I know. Takes good care of me. And but he's cheated on me. He's a habitual cheater. What do I do? And so I'm really sometime at a loss that some of these things, the way that our queens allow men, because I believe whatever you continue to allow, behavior allowed only grows. Yeah, it gets worse. And
Yes.
so give some hope to those who are in situations whereby they have somebody who's a habitual cheater. I mean, just over and over again, and they can't seem, and they always throw in this four-letter word, and it's just amazing to me because I'm just trying to figure out, have they ever heard Tina Turner? Love. They love them. And so, what do you say to a woman that's in a situation right now that's even watching us or watching the replay of this, and there was somebody that just continued to cheat, but they can't break that. They can't break that tie.
So I would say, first of all, remove the term that you can't. Um, I think that women have been told for so long that our identity is wrapped up in a relationship. Whether we have a man or don't have a man. Oh, she ain't got no man, so she da 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 da. Or oh, she got a man, so she's this. We've got to remove this thought process that having a man equals something. Like you by yourself is more than enough. You weren't born with a man. You didn't come out your mama's womb with a man. You came out, even if you were a twin, you came out by yourself. So
Absolutely.
that lets you know by yourself, you are enough. So remove this concept of can't. You can absolutely do anything, including you staying there. You stayed there because you can. So now you can give yourself permission. If it is not healthy, this is how we know if we should stay or leave. If it is not healthy, if it is not adding to you, not adding value, not speaking to who you are as a person, not adding love to you, how can it be love when it's not even growing love on the inside of you? So release this idea that you can't and give yourself permission to know that whatever you believe love looks like I'm talking about the highest form of love you can think of, it exists. It exists because, first of all, it started in you. So that means it exists. So
Absolutely.
give yourself permission to be released from something that's toxic, that's not good for you, that's not healthy for you, that's probably most likely destroying your self esteem, and begin to take those steps. But I think it first starts with us removing the concept in this mind that we're whole if we have a man. A man doesn't complete you, doesn't make you whole. That's where I would at.
That's good. Richard, when I was in school, there was two reasons why I would have cheated, and that's because I didn't study or I didn't know the information. Just could it possibly, I just want to just say possible. Maybe you have someone that's not ready for who you are. They're not ready for you because boys cheat. Men study to get the answers. And women, you have to stop being loyal to limitations. You deserve better. Go get healed from daddy issues. Get rid of self-hatred. Know that you can do better than that. You don't deserve that. And you gotta be willing to make another choice. Just make another choice, whatever you're gonna do. But if you stay, you give up your right to complain about it, to
Yes.
call in about it, to
Yes.
go to just give it up because you have made your choice. Do it, live with it, go on, live your life. But don't bring everybody else in your business trying to get help when you really don't want to be healed.
You don't deserve to complain about what you continue to tolerate, especially after you've gotten different information.
Absolutely.
If you've got new information, and I want to say there are many queens that probably follow you all too that send you notes and say, I got out of it. It was because of your post and because of this and that. And that makes me proud. But then there are those that just don't. Yeah. Brother David, did you want to add?
Just real quick, I think we talked about this on the show. I believe that I think sometimes we're afraid to be alone. We're back to that word again. And so we pile people on top of pain just because we don't want to confront. And so we use people as Band-Aids, and we have to stop using people as Band-Aids and really get to the pain. Why am I afraid to be alone? Why am I afraid to get healing? So I think that really goes back to that piece we talked about. Just you have to be okay with you. You've got to be okay with being alone.
And if you don't, y'all agree with this? My son, who went on to be with the Lord, preacher, we did a radio show together, Pastor Oscar Hayes, and first of all, Brother Isaac, I knew I liked you for a reason. You're an introvert like me. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert, but I can manage,
Absolutely.
But I prefer, yeah. But he said I had this issue of suppressing things, and he said, Dad, that's not good. He said, because if you continue to suppress it, it may not come out direct, but it's going to come out in other ways. And so I want to ask y'all this. People that stay in situations like that, is that a reflection of them more so than the person that they're with?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't blame them.
I don't want to blame them. I don't want to put the blame, because I think, they're getting beat up already, but it is kind of their fault, ain't it?
Well, here's what I say, Bishop, when you say you don't want to blame the person who is staying. It actually gives you power when you recognize, if I'm the one that's creating what I don't want, that means I can create now what I do want. So that actually gives you more power back, because if we believe that all of our issues are outside of ourselves, then we feel helpless. We feel like I can't fix it, I can't do this because it's always going to be this way. But if I recognize I have the ownership to change what's around me, I now have power. I'm empowered to do something. So I don't believe it's a beat up statement. I believe it's an empowerment statement.
It is, and I can't avoid coming back to this if I don't confront it, right? So I've got to be honest. Okay, how did I get here? What causes me to keep drawing these type of people? Because if I don't confront that, I'm going to repeat that. And the last thing I want to do is get out of this and get back into another situation like this. So I've got to, as Anisha says, you got to be honest. It is me. Let me deal with me, so I don't end up back in the same place again.
And is this where the anger, because I believe it's a whole process. We're seeing part of it with our president that's going out, but that's another subject. Isn't it a whole process, because the anger sets in, the blame, the anger, and then eventually comes this bitterness, man. Is that kind of the process, the bitterness? That's where you get to women that become bitter?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they carry how I want to say this. I don't know, because I'm thinking from this point as a father too. Like you said, we don't want to blame, but we do want to expose where they are. We don't want them to feel like we're jumping on them saying it's your fault. But it is, to an extent, it is, because you have to be exposed to something different. And when you get exposed to something different, you have to make a different choice. You cannot continue to stay in something like that. Your psyche, something is, Mephibosheth dropped. It wasn't his fault that he was lame, but he still had to live with his lameness. And the Bible says that because of the person who had him was in haste, because the enemy was coming, they dropped him. And many of us have been dropped, and it wasn't our fault, but it is our fix. It's not our fault, but it is our fix. So I would say they have to find the root in them that allows that type of commitment to something that's not going to advance their life. It keeps them in a place of chaos and bondage. And they either need counseling or need shows like this. They need to be in the master classes coming up. They need good books. But they're going to have to do something to get rid of that behavior.
Hey, Bishop, you mind if I share something really quickly?
No, go ahead.
Okay. A few years ago, and I shared this story before, a few years ago, I was watching National Geographic. They had this show where they would rescue animals. And Apostle, on this show, man, they had a dog that had been chained to a tree. And they kept feeding the dog. So they fed him, they just didn't exercise him. And so eventually what happened was this dog eventually began to grow around the chain. So when they came to rescue the dog, they tried to release the dog, but his skin had grown around the chain. He had become one with the thing that had him bound.
Wow.
And so in order for them to release him from the chain, they had to cut the chain off. They had to surgically remove the chain. And what I found in that, man, is Isaac, I think this is what you're talking about too a little bit, man, is that sometimes we've got to lose a bit of us to gain all of us, right? I've got to lose some of me if I'm going to release this chain. Right?
That's good.
And so sometimes we grow around it and it becomes so familiar with us, we forget we are bound. And so I've got to now have somebody come surgically remove this chain, because if I don't, it will choke me to death. So the thing that I felt once kept me safe is now keeping me bound. And I need a Greg Davis, I need an Isaac Jenkins, I need an Anisha to come cut this chain off of me so it doesn't kill me in the process of me growing.
That's good, man.
That's very good. Thank you for
Very
sharing.
good,
That's very good. If you all are enjoying the panel tonight, we're going to go for another probably 30 minutes. Because I already know I'm going to have them back because the comments that I'm getting already. If you all are enjoying, I just tell people I'm coming back. They come back. I'm asking. I was the only child. Y'all forgive me. Anisha tell you act like it too. You was the only child too? Oh my God.
Listen,
that's why.
I'm an only child introvert. Only child introvert. That's
You
why
only
we do
child
what we
too?
do. Only child introvert, brother.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
And then for those of you that believe in the horoscope, I'm a Gemini too, so that makes it worse.
See my eye.
Right. Okay, so I need y'all let me know if y'all enjoying this just by saying, and just invite some more people and share this so even when we're off, they can come on. Hey to y'all that's on YouTube, if it's your first time, why don't you subscribe to a YouTube channel when the right one comes. Okay, one more single question and we're going to breeze through some marriage questions. So let's say, and I was really led with this question, I'm always moved by that movie, and I think it's one of Tyler Perry's best movies. The one that he falls in love with the office worker. What's the name?
Yeah.
Good Deeds.
Yeah, Mr. D.
I could look if that came on right now. I mean, I'd be like, okay, I'm canceling this because I just love that movie. I think it's his best. Let's say someone is engaged, about to marry, but now having doubts, and they know that, and they know without a doubt that this ain't the right one. I mean, they got invitations. They got invitations out, limited because it's COVID. They got the reception plan, small reception, all that. But they like, I know this ain't the person. I know without a doubt. But I don't want to. What's more important, to go through with something so you won't be embarrassed, or to not go through with something so you won't be embarrassed later on by being divorced?
You're going to be embarrassed. Either way. So you might as well get it done now.
Or later.
Get that thing out the way now. You don't want to be 10 years down the line and have to explain it. I'd rather be embarrassed and have other people laugh at me than be 10 years down the line and be and pile pain on top of embarrassment. I don't want to live with somebody I don't want to be with. So why wait? Let that go now.
Because you're not, even though you're engaged, you're still not married.
You're not married, brother.
So as a woman, Anisha.
I mean, I think I probably have a different take on relationships than some women. My thing is marriage is forever.
She broke up.
I think she broke up.
Yeah, she broke up right in the middle of it. Okay. Brother Isaac, you want to share on it?
Well, I would say I'm like Brother Burbs. I mean, either way, it's kind of like one of my favorite candies is now, ladies. You're either going to be embarrassed now, or it's going to be late. And we have to remember, we're always as sick as our deepest secrets.
Jenkins.
A secret like that into a union, it's already, I read in a book one time, the greatest way to prevent divorce is before marriage. So, I mean, if you're going to take that type of mindset and secret into a union, it's already sick. It won't be sick when it's revealed. It was sick before it got started. So I would say that the person really needs to understand, don't avoid a hard choice because you're trying to avoid pain.
All right. Were you through on that? You look like you're okay. Go ahead, Anisha. Back. That was good, Anisha.
That was very good. So yeah, just in what I was saying is I think we have to keep in mind that marriage is something we're gonna do forever. It's not just the look, it's not just the wedding day, it's not just the pictures and the dress. I always ask women because oftentimes, if we're honest, the woman's goal is marriage. So then I always ask, what's next? After you've married, what's next? We've got to stop thinking that that's the end goal because once you're in it, that's when it really starts. So if you're starting, and I got to hear some of what Apostle said, if you're starting already with the mindset that this may not work, why would you continue on it?
Okay. All right. That's for those of you, and I don't know why I was led to put that in there, but if you're in a situation and you like, I need to get out of this, and I don't know how, it's better that Brother David put it so nicely. Him and Brother Isaac, and then she just put the bow on it. Number one, rather be embarrassed now. Okay, and then brother Jenkins said, "Hey, his favorite candy is now or later. You gonna be embarrassed. You gonna be embarrassed either way. All right. So, and that's in any relationship. Let's move to marriage. How do you not lose what attracted you to your spouse in the first place? Ain't you proud of me? Ain't you proud of me, Anisha? I did these in bed. I told you I can write. I'm just a lazy writer. I don't like writing. How do you not lose what attracted you to your spouse in the very first place? Because there is something that glimmered in your eye. There's something that made you smile. There's something that made you chase them. There's something. Yeah. Something in the way she moved. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Who want to go first?
Let's let the married people go first.
I will. I would say, Bishop, I've been married for 22 years, so I've been through whatever marriage can throw at you. I don't think marriage can throw nothing at me at this point. But I think you have to really, really, I want people who are single and pursuing marriage really understand this. Don't let pain poison your pursuit. You can't let a wounded spirit, you can't let unforgiveness, you can't let the things that's going to go wrong. Not if, they are going to go wrong. Things are going to be said. You have to get all closure on erosion. That's going to happen over time. As you with a person, they're going to change, you're going to change, there's going to be the oscillation that's going to happen. You're going to go through different emotions. You're going to go through different growth spurts. So things like that are going to happen. But if you can understand that you married all of the person, not just the parts that you like, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. If you will keep your love above their limitations, you'll always come out on top. And I'm proof of it because in 22 years, I'm still pursuing my wife. We still flirt. There's no space in my heart for nobody but her. I see a lot of beautiful women, and they fine, but they ain't mine.
Yeah.
And that's because there's something in me that still pursues. He that findeth, TH, a wife. That means there's a woman is a well that has no bottom. You got to keep finding that woman in every season that she's in and you in.
That's so good.
Talk. It ain't just finding it the first time, and that's a better interpretation what you just gave, and what some of these people be interpreting that scripture as. Thank you, Brother Jenkins. That is very good. I was
Ooh.
as we go to Brother David, I was reading, and I brought it up before, right?
And I'm telling you right now, I'm still in it. So I'm gonna give you
Yeah,
credit one time. That
right.
findeth.
That's a preacher thing, right?
Listen, that findeth.
And
I'm
I'm
gonna give
still
you credit
finding
one
them.
good time.
I'm still finding it. That's
Yeah, you're
right.
gonna hear that again.
Keep finding. And I want to say to the singles, I saw somebody say it's time for the marriage. No, this is for the singles too. And this is the kind of talk you need before you get married,
Yes,
so
sir.
that you can stay married once you get married.
Absolutely.
You won't need no counseling later if you just take these points. So I was reading Boris Cujo and his wife, and she said, "I wish we could start back dating."
That's good.
She said, "I wish I was single again, so that." She said, "I wish I was single again." She said, "But with the same man, so he could come behind me and kiss me on my neck while I'm cooking, or he could send me text messages from the other room." And he had, as I used to say, he had the dizzy look, like, "What are you telling all our business for?" But so in that means that they had lost something. So this is my second question, because I'm Brother Jenkins. We're gonna leave it right there on that one for them. If you do lose it, how do you put the fire back in the marriage? Brother David?
So one of the things that I always advise is that you have to DTR. You have to define the relationship. If you've lost it, you have to redefine it. But it's important to note that you're not redefining what you had. You're redefining what you could have. What we had is gone. And if I'm expecting you to be who you were, and you're expecting me to be who I was, we're in trouble. Because the day after I married you Saturday, Sunday morning, I woke up a different man, and you were a different woman. And so if I'm, again, here's one of the things we say: what it took to get her is what it takes to keep her. That's a lie.
Yes.
That's an absolute lie. We're changing every day. And so what it took to get you is not what it's going to take to keep you. I need to, the Bible tells me as a husband, I need to become, husbands love her according to knowledge. So we have to become students of one another, right? So I get it back by having let's sit down and talk and ask each other, okay, what do you need now? At 45, 50 years old, having gone through the affair, having gone through cancer, all of that we've been through, let's talk about today. What do you expect from me? What do I expect from you? And how can we do life together as we move forward so that we're not trying to find each other from yesterday? We can build on who we are tomorrow.
Anybody else want to add to that? Keeping the fire back
Can
in
you
the
repeat the question, Bishop? About it was if you lost it, I think.
If you do lose it, how do you put the fire back in a marriage?
Put it back in. And that's a great question, but it really comes down to how I want to say this. What made you lose it? I'm thinking. That's why I'm kind of pausing. I'm thinking about when Jesus was 3 days. His parents went 3 days journey, and all of a sudden his mother realized he was lost, that he wasn't with him. And so she went among her kinfolk. She went here, she went there, and finally she found him. A lot of times in the pain cycle of a relationship, people lose their pursuit. They have spent so much energy in the pain cycle, they won't use the leftover energy that they do have to go back and look for what's lost. So a lot of times, if you're not real careful, if you spend too long in that lost space, you don't have enough energy to recollect or to renew yourself back. So you have to be very careful. I would tell any young couple that's watching this especially, you need to heal quickly. Don't let things linger. Don't let it go 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Because when you get used to something, you become familiar with it. And that's very dangerous. So I would say that you really need to focus on using your energy wisely if you're going to put the fire back in. And it depends on what caused you to lose it.
I think also, go ahead, Sister Nisha.
I just wanted to add in this place, you both made some very great points. And I do agree that you do want to keep learning each other. But as a woman, one of the things that we love is consistency. Consistency for us builds trust.
That's good.
And it builds safety. And so if you captured her because something about you was consistent, something about you made her feel safe. So continue to build on what made her feel safe. And that continues to grow the trust that makes her feel open. Men think women give all of themselves. We give a lot of ourselves, but we give ourselves in segments as we feel safe.
That's good.
The safer we feel, the more we trust, the more you see. If you can keep a woman in that place, then you'll keep the relationship because she's going to keep wanting to reveal more. And as she wants to reveal more, she's going to want to learn more about you. She's going to want to go into those places with you so that intimacy continues to build and grow. And we all know when intimacy is there, security is there, trust is there, that relationship is just going to keep growing no matter what comes his way. Because that's my dude. Like I want to keep this what I have. And he's like, that's my girl. So I just believe we can keep that, then the relationship will continue to grow and be strong.
I think there's a sexual aspect too, really quickly. Give your spouse permission to explore. What they liked 10 years ago may be something different today, right? They didn't like oral sex 10 years ago, but they may want it today. Don't judge them, right? Let's have the safe conversation. Okay, what do you want today? How can I best serve and please you sexually, emotionally, and spiritually?
What if they liked it back then and don't like it now? That's horrible. That's
You're gonna have to adjust. Yeah, you gotta
Who
make
gonna
that
have to
adjustment.
adjust?
You gotta make that adjustment.
Brother Isaac. Brother Isaac.
So but back then,
I took you out. Brother Isaac, come on, let's talk for real. Are you serious?
well, I mean, just that's gonna have to be something like he said. When you're in a marriage, you got to communicate where you are. It cannot be assumption based.
So you agree with David that if no, I was being joking now. So what if the man did like oral sex? He does, and that's something that he said he really liked, but then she says, I don't want to do that no more.
I don't do
It's
that.
gonna be a conversation.
Hey, he better be happy with himself.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a
Get to know
conversation
yourself.
again.
Oh no.
And again, it goes to, we have to ask this question.
Ladies, close your ears. Don't y'all do that to your husbands when y'all
Don't do that.
But check this out. It goes back to, was she ever really in agreement, and somewhere did she get the confidence and the boldness to really step up for herself and say, you know what? No, maybe it's something she never really ever wanted to do.
Right.
Can I add this as a woman? And ladies, y'all are here, so y'all
Look
hear
what you
me.
did, Brother David. You
I'm
started
sorry.
something.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, that's good stuff because it's grown up conversation.
And when you said that, everybody's picture cleared up now. Anisha's cleared up. You
Yeah,
cleared.
yeah. With no static,
But can I
with no
add
feedback.
You
and
know,
let me
go
say
ahead.
this, because what every man wants or doesn't want or doesn't like is different. But I always tell women you need to go into marriage prepared that men love sex. They like sex. So if that is something that you're still wrestling with, then you may want to wait and get healed in that space. And I get it because women, sometimes we've been molested, we've been raped. There are things that have happened that have caused us to not enjoy sex. But knowing that that's what your husband's going to want in a marriage, you got to make sure that side of you is healed. And let me say this to men. When a woman, if you're in a marriage with a woman who's dealing with some of those sexual things, one of the best things you can do is make sure you offer her a place of safety.
It's good.
That you don't make it just about performance, but that she feels safe to be vulnerable in that space of intimacy. And I'm just going to tell y'all, if you can make a woman as a husband feel safe that way, she's going to feel more comfortable being able to meet you where you are sexually.
It's good.
I think what our millennials don't realize is at some point when we get older, I'm 45, things slow down for us men. They turn up for you ladies. So there's a shift that happens there too.
Yeah.
Where at some point you're gonna want it more than we do, right? So as men, we have to watch our ego when that takes place because mama's gonna be hot and we're gonna be asleep. So we got to figure that whole piece out as well.
I have no comment.
I'm gonna hit that gym. I'm in that gym like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I was on my treadmill today.
Listen,
Maybe I'm living off of, maybe Brother David, maybe I'm living off of grace. Your grace and mercy brought me through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna do one more. We got about I time. I said we got about 13 minutes. So I'm gonna do one more marriage, and I want y'all to hit this quick, and then we're gonna do a few divorce, and we're done. Here's a question I get all the time, and I'm asking the most asked questions because I have 3 coaches, and so let's talk about finances in marriage. Because finances and sex and communication is 3 of the things that tear marriage up.
Yeah.
So y'all need to know this. So how should a newlywed couple decide? And let me say this, let me put a precursor there. You should decide this before you get married, okay? Finances, sex, communicate, all those things, you don't talk about after. It's like building the plane in the air that's already taken off. You don't build a plane in the air. Once the plane's taken off, it's pretty much, going to either fly or it's gonna crash because it ain't got no parts in it. So how should a newly married couple decide how to do their finances? Okay, when I was married, we had separate accounts. Period. I mostly paid the bills because I was old fashioned like that. I still am in a little way, but I don't have a problem with somebody sharing in this day and time. But joint accounts, separate accounts, how should that be decided on how the money, who pays what? How should it be paid? Just all those things. Anybody?
I would base it, Bishop, off of, first of all, you got to go into the marriage, like you said, with communication, and you have to really have honest conversations about your habits. If you know you're a spender, you most definitely don't need the money. You do not need the money. It needs to be in the hands of the responsible saver until you can learn better. Also, you need to know there's going to be a balance.
And Brother Isaac, hold your thought right there. Does that mean that it don't make no difference how much money if you make more money, but if you're a spender, it don't make a difference, right? Just because you make the most money, it should be with the person that can budget the better.
Absolutely. Okay. I agree with you. Yes, because
I was asking you, yes?
Yes, because we got to think now. No longer single. This is another individual with me, and it's going to be a battle of the blueprints because we all been raised and trained different around money.
Battle of the what?
The battle of the blueprints.
I love it. Go ahead.
You got this blueprint in you around money, and a lot of us got money wounds.
Yeah.
Money has been something that maybe wasn't talked about. It's not a good conversation. You got this spend conscious. So, especially if you grew up in poverty, then to ascertain money is to get something. It's not to save. It's not for the long term. It's not for the future. It's just now. It's that instant gratification. So most of the time, men like that. Most of the time, they marry a woman who's stable, a woman who's a manager, a woman who's very astute when it comes to finance. Not all the time, but most of the time. I don't know why that is subconsciously. It's like they draw somebody to them. I was not a saver when I met my wife. I grew up where you kept money, all your money would get in your pocket, and she would just be on me and on me. Now I can outsave her. Because why? She stayed consistent with it. She stayed with me. So that's where she helped me fit. She came in that space where she was patient enough with me to do that. So that blueprint for me was I was still seeing all the people around me the way they did with money, see? So what she was offering me was foreign to my world. And she just thought that was just stupid. It was asinine. And I couldn't agree with it at the time because that was not reality. So she had to be patient for me to gain another perspective so that I could become the person that I am today with the money. So it makes no difference whether she had it or I had it because we both think now for the house. We think about each other. We think about our life. So gotta make sure you have communication about it.
That is very good. And I used to be the same way where you just carried all your money. You just big time. I think that comes from maybe our generation. We've seen that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next at that?
I think that's
Y'all agree with it?
I think Apostle covered pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. We're in agreement. Okay. Let's go to divorce.
Thank you, Anisha.
I know, right? Let's go to divorce. Just a few things. Of course, me and Anisha have been through divorce. Number one, is it why is it such a taboo subject in the church? What is your stance on it? Let me say this. 50% of those that get married in the church, I've talked about this on my radio shows down through the years, and I've watched the statistics, and they have not changed. 50%, I'm not talking about the sinner, I'm talking about the church. 50% of the church gets divorced.
Wow.
You can run the statistics. And first of all, I want to know why. But secondly, why is it such a taboo thing and we don't talk about it, but it's happening every day? And what y'all feel about it?
Man, that is absolutely phenomenal. God, wait. 50% you said, Bishop?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was just,
Go ahead, Anisha, because I will let you go ahead. Yeah, you guys let us do it first on this. I will let you guys go first on this. Go ahead.
so, obviously I'm a part of that statistic. Golly, there's so many things that we can unpack in this particular space. I know, for me personally, I am in ministry, was in ministry during that time, and there's a rhetoric that we hear about divorce. Of course, we know, the scripture talks about God hates divorce, and we do know that, and I why He hates it because it's like death. Literally, it's like you lose someone that you've spent, no matter how good or bad the marriage was. You lose someone that you have connected your soul with in a covenant. Um, and then that ends. So that's a death. And if you have children, then it further complicates that. So I get why the church sees it that way. But I do think that we've got to do better at preparing people for marriage. We've got to do better at explaining why people should marry. We've got to do better at teaching people impulse control, not just better to marry than to burn, because a lot of people got married because it was better to marry than to burn. But then you married somebody you knew you weren't supposed to marry because you didn't want to go to hell. But now you set up a whole other set of issues, like myself. I got married for that reason. I mean, I was in college, I was pregnant, and I didn't want to be a statistic, and I didn't want to burn. But I knew going into my marriage, it wasn't what I was supposed to do. And it took 17 years, 3 children later, for me to make the decision. I should have never made it in the beginning, but I made it because of the pressure of church. So we've got to begin to talk about that, the pressure that we put on people, rather than teaching people how to date, how to do relationships, how to be successful, how to choose wise, how to be chosen wisely. We deal with the aftermath of the pressure, societal pressure, church pressure. And then we condemn people that are divorced, but we didn't talk about how they got to that place to begin with. So it's a big conversation. That's just my take on it. Preparation. We've got to do better in the church and preparing people on the onset.
I think we've also got to stop lying over the pulpit as if we don't have issues, because we do, all right? And so if all you see is us perfect in the pulpit and the podium, but you don't hear the fact that we have issues too, it's a problem, right? And so we're rushing to imperfection. People get in it and don't realize, wait, this thing is not perfect. So we got to we really have to, these conversations are key. You got to be honest up front, stop lying to people. Everybody has marital issues. It's how you overcome them. I think that is key. And so, I think all three of these work in unison and in partnership with one another.
And I think people think that when you get married, that you get married to divorce. Nobody gets married to fail. You don't do anything to fail, and that includes marriage. Who wants to marry somebody? They embarrass, especially those of us that are on the platform. I went through divorce on the Word Network. When I was hosting Rejoice in the Word I was Big Greg then, and I had to go through divorce while on TV. My highest moment was my lowest moment. I had just started hosting like 2 years on a show that was talked about all over the country because, we didn't have no platform until Rejoice. Black folk went on TBN once a month or twice, whatever. And so it was humiliating. So who wants to divorce? Who wants to get married to be humiliated? And then talked about in your denomination, in your fellowship, my bishop preached about me on the stage.
Wow.
I mean, Bishop Morton, he had to, because I was one of the one of the founding fathers, one of the council members going through divorce. And so to sit there and be humiliated, but again, to whom much is given, much is required. And I took it. Went to my room crying, but I took it and made me who I am today. So that myth of thinking that people get married to divorce, nah. I don't know nobody that got married and say, "Ooh, I'm gonna end up divorced." No, you don't. Life happens.
I think
And then
Trump, though, you can't count Trump out now. I think Donald Trump probably the only one
What's that?
thinking I'm probably gonna get divorced. But that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother show.
I was being serious, man. Like, what is he talking about? You want to add to that, Dr. Jenkins?
Wow.
But things like this, I will say this, with shows like this and what we're doing, we're going to bring that number down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're going to bring that number down if people really listen. And the church has to repent because they made people think that God hated the one who got divorced instead of hating divorce.
One, sir.
He don't hate the people who had to go through divorce. It simply means division. It just simply means that the person said, I no longer can see my soul with you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I can't see my soul with a person. I just can no longer see it with you. So therefore, they take their soul back. They take that oneness back. And that's where the divorce comes. That's where the division comes in. So when I look at people who have gone through a divorce, many of them need fathers, people in the church, to really look them in the eye and tell them, I repent for how the church treated you.
Okay.
Many people have left the church.
That's good.
It wasn't a Bishop Greg. You was raised up in a generation where you could take that. You could take that being preached on the stage. That's just where you built. But this generation, oh no.
You don't walk away from leadership. I don't care what. That's how our generation was taught. This generation, no, right? You preach on me in the stage.
It's
right.
over.
I often say that movie with Maddie Mars Clark, the Clark sisters. If she had, I love the Clark sisters, but that generation, you can't throw a shoe at somebody in this generation. They're gonna throw it back.
Yeah.
Maddie had to be in that generation. I'm sorry, Dr. Jenkins. Go ahead. You want
That
to
was
hear?
it. I just wanted to make sure that the church, I really believe they preached and made people feel that God hated the people that got a divorce and not hate divorce.
Yeah.
God don't hate. God love you just as much as he loved you before you got married. Divorce, it doesn't make a difference with God. Because what divorce is to me is when you really upgrade it, you now are owner of your soul again.
Yeah.
You now own your soul again.
Yeah. I looked up the figure again, and so that was a 2008 figure. It's 33%, which is still bad.
That's just bad.
It's still bad. Now, currently 33%. And they say we equal like to the world. And so, then people turn around and say, well, what's the difference if the world and the church can't get, we're still people.
I think that 33% too is people aren't getting married anymore. People are afraid.
Yeah.
That is so true.
So a
That's
lot
true.
of the marriage rate is going down as well.
That's good. It is. No, that's a true statistic. It is going on. People are getting married less. Yeah. So 2 last questions. So how do you navigate through divorce, Anisha?
Ooh, that's a very good question. First of all,
I do this for a living,
Yeah, I know, Bishop. Well, first of all, much prayer. I mean, hopefully, whatever your faith is, much prayer, much forgiveness. One of the things I tell people I had to do for myself is I had to release my ex-husband. Because we have an image in our mind about what marriage should be and look like, and a lot of the anger that we feel is because it wasn't that. You took something from me is how we feel. So I had to release him from not fulfilling my idea of what marriage was going to be like. That was my idea. He didn't say he owned up to that, but that was my idea. So I had to release him. I have to forgive him of the things I wanted, the things I desired that never happened. And then I had to forgive myself because I stayed longer when I knew it wasn't going to get better. So it's a huge time of really forgiving what you desired, what you wanted, what didn't happen, and then taking the time to see what did I learn? What did I learn about love? What did that teach me? Because even in the bad moments, you learn something. And so when you can learn to deviate, dissect is what I'm looking for, dissect what was learned and forgive, it puts you back in a place of wholeness again.
Last question. How do you know, and this can be for everybody, how do you know you're ready to date again after divorce?
Apostle, what you got, man?
I'm thinking I want to hear what y'all got to say because I've been married for long. But I would say I would say this just real quick.
Let me add this caveat to it too. And how soon? How soon?
Good.
Yeah, I would say for a person who's gone through a divorce, because they say divorce is the next thing to death. So when you go through a death like that and really trying to recollect yourself, because first of all, you had this thing in your mind, this image, the story, this script in you that, I'm saying, this is forever, this is whatever you got to go through. I would say you really, really need to commit to a season or seasons of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it no deeper than that. If you go into a relationship, the more healed you are, the better chance you have of having a successful relationship.
Okay,
So
brother
I
Dave.
was,
Go ahead, Anish. Go ahead, Anish. Go ahead.
well, I was Apostle really touched on a lot of what I would say. When you're in a relationship, even whether it's even dating, you imprint on each other. That person has imprinted some things on you. So in order for you to be able to get back into another relationship, you've got to release what was in that relationship. Whatever that person liked, wanted, desired, didn't like, you'll literally take that into another relationship because that's all you've experienced. And so you've got to really, heal from the imprinting of that person. And I'd say you're ready to date when you are in a place of no longer, and I'm gonna say it, I know it's hard for people to hear, but when you are no longer angry with your spouse, your ex-spouse.
It's
Because as
good.
long as you are angry, you're gonna take that anger out on the next person. So when you're no longer angry, when you can wish them well, when you can want well for them, when you can pray a good, not God, I hope you kill them, but a prayer that is a blessing for their life, then I believe you're in a good place to start dating.
And I think the last piece to add to that is, again, Anisha, as you stated, when I can wish them well, I'm ready to move forward.
Yeah.
I think the last piece to that is also when I don't feel like I need to date, it's probably the best time to date. I think one of the worst times to shop for groceries is when you're hungry. You come home with Twinkies, donuts, whatever you want. And so the worst time to shop is when you're hungry. We talked about it before. The worst time to date is when you're thirsty. So I don't need to be out there if I feel like I need somebody. I want to see you date when you feel like, you know what, I desire companionship, but if they come, whether they come or not, I'm okay with me.
It's good.
All right, y'all. We have to do this again. I'm going to ask everybody tonight. This was like a masterclass for free for the last hour and 20 minutes. Those of you that are usually with me on these kind of lives, I ask you to sow a seed, and the information is at the bottom. I want to be a blessing to all three of them on tonight. So if everybody would just hit the Cash App and just give a $20 seed. If everybody on here, everybody that said they enjoyed it, don't leave now, y'all. The numbers go down. Don't go nowhere. Y'all like tipping in church like this. If you would give a $20 seed, Greg Davis Ministries 1, that's the Cash App. Or Zelle, Greg Davis Show at Gmail, PayPal, contact Greg Davis at gmail.com, Givelify, Greg Davis Ministries, and www.gregdavisshow.com. Those of you that say I will do that, then just put in there. Also, you can go to I'm learning this. The YouTube has a place that you can be a giver, and I see people doing that already. That doesn't immediately go to me, but I appreciate that. It helps do all that we're doing. But I need you all, those of you that would give that $20, just say I'm sowing on tonight. I'm sowing. Vanette says, please, a masterclass. And Vanette has registered for the masterclass coming. And she's also, we're going to give that away tonight, aren't we,
Yeah,
Anisha?
she sponsors.
We're giving
I
away a
think, yeah,
registration tonight on the radio
on the
show.
radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got radio at 12 o'clock tonight, and it's Ask Anisha night. So y'all tune in. And
Write the
then
letters.
at 10 o'clock tonight, I'll be going live again in 30 minutes with my teaching, and Prophet Delaney is my guest tonight, and we're going to be talking about honor. Thank you, Vanette. I need at least 30 of you to sow that $20. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Sonia Epps, Prophetess. I didn't even see you on here. Y'all go to the Cash App, please, and I want to be a blessing to these brothers and sisters tonight. Will y'all come back and be with me?
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So there's information. Don't forget to register for the masterclass. There are 8 seats left. 8 seats left. 10% off until Sunday. If you know somebody, bring a girlfriend with you. Bring a brother with you. It's $49.99, and whatever that is about $5 off. Go to GregDavisShow.com immediately and register tonight so I can put that big old sign up saying, sorry, sold out. All right. Anisha is guest hosting, and she's putting together all the questions and content for me. And I appreciate her. She's my partner for this. Thank you all. I need at least 13 more of you to sow tonight. 13 more of you to sow tonight. 13 more of you to sow tonight. I want to be a blessing to them. Give them some Starbucks money. I don't even know if they like Starbucks, but give them some Starbucks money.
Appreciate you, sir.
As the old preacher used to say when they give you that little envelope, I can't pay you, but here's a little token.
Yeah.
And the young preacher say, now try to pay me.
Token.
Our generation used to say, oh, that's okay, Pastor. We appreciate it. Young generation be like, try, Doc, try, baby. I need some more of you that will give tonight. Some more of you that will give tonight. Again, you're going to the Cash App, Greg Davis Ministries. Thank you, Naomi. Greg Davis Ministries. You're going to Zelle, GregDavisShow.com. You're going to PayPal, contact Greg Davis, Givelify, Greg Davis Ministries. All those things are on the screen on tonight. Y'all got anything coming up that y'all want to announce while they're giving?
I would love to sponsor somebody for the masterclass, Bishop.
Oh, thank you.
Some young lady. I don't know
How much is the
whoever.
class?
You figure out who it is.
How much is the class, Anisha?
$49.99 and 10% off tonight.
Yeah.
So 10% off, 30.
You put. Oh, I meant to say when you go to the website, you put in the code WTROC and they give you 10% off.
That's probably like
WTROC.
$4 or $5 off.
Yeah, it's about $5 off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So and then
Maybe we'll say this, and I'll give you this, and maybe you can use it. If dating is data, collecting data, marriage is using what you learn.
That's good. I like that.
see, only a married man would think of that. That's why y'all need us. That's why we need y'all. That's what I'm saying. That's why we need y'all. Y'all need us too to tell y'all how to keep it fresh, though.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Thank you for that. That is.
Tisha said she sold
Huh?
over here on my thing. Someone sold over here. I'm doing a watch party. Otisha sold. So I'll just tell them thank you, Otisha.
Okay, thank you. And so yeah, y'all do that so I can close out this masterclass and we can go on to the next masterclass. I might have these brothers and sisters on the next one. Thank you. Thank you, Isaac Spencer.
So you mentioned if we have anything coming up. I don't have anything coming up right now, but I do want to shout out my t-shirts. I'm in the fiance flow. So y'all can go to my website, AnishaSharp.com, if you're interested in my t-shirt.
Yes.
If you guys need relationship coaching, you can hit my website, www.thedavidburrisacademy.com. It's only $47 a month. It'll bless your life.
David Burris Academy. All right.
Yes.
T-shirt.
Good.
Prophet Isaac. Anything?
You can follow me on Facebook, and right now I'm not doing a whole lot as far as things. Me and Anisha are doing a masterclass. I'm working on a website for my T-shirts, and I do have books, but I'm attempting to do my books a different way. So right now, you can find me on Facebook Live or Facebook period.
Okay. All right. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody. Don't forget to register tonight. all the way through Sunday while the sale is on. $5 is $5. Everybody having black sale,
Black
and so
Friday.
Black Friday sale. Anisha talked me into it, so I gave y'all $5 out. Y'all thank God for her. She's my radio wife, so she tells me what to do.
Great job, Ryan.
Thank y'all so much. Stay safe, and those of you that are on that follow me, we'll be back on at 10 o'clock with teaching on tonight. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you,
Good night.
Bishop.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
gonna leave the giving information up for a minute, y'all. Y'all good night.
Good night.